So Avengers Doomsday is just a few months away, and if you missed it, there's been a bunch of brand new information that's come out regarding Avengers and just Marvel and the whole MCU and all that good stuff. But one of the things that they've recently announced, if you missed this, and I'm going to kind of dive a little bit deeper into it if you did hear this already, is the fact that they're going to be planning to re-release Avengers Endgame in theaters on September 25th. And the reason for this is because they're going to be adding some brand new scenes, deleted scenes, and different things like that to the movie. The movie already runs, quite lengthy. So at this point, we're going to be pushing like a 4-hour plus movie, which is fine. It's a great movie in my opinion. But the point being is they're going to be adding a bunch of brand new scenes, deleted stuff and whatever. And the context of this though was to prepare for Avengers Endgame, not Avengers Endgame, Avengers Doomsday. It was to sort of bridge the gap between the two movies, Avengers Endgame and Avengers Doomsday. And the Russo brothers said in another quote that basically Doomsday picks up where Endgame left off. And that left a lot of people kind of confused and puzzled. Does that mean everything we've had since Endgame is just obsolete? Is it irrelevant? I don't think all of it is. I think they are trying to kind of maybe like retcon some things, right? They're trying to kind of walk some things back. They kind of went down a route, in terms of some of their content and whatever that felt a little bit too kind of, agenda pushing, if you will, to put it lightly, I guess. And that did not resonate with a lot of people. And so I think they're trying to, walk things back and again, kind of focus on superheroes and just good stories and stuff like that. And then of course there's the whole issue with the actor who was playing Kang, and they had to kind of walk that back. Originally we were supposed to get Avengers Kang, or the Kang Dynasty, whatever, and then they kind of pivoted over to, let's do Doomsday instead now. So there's much stuff like that. Now, one thing I do want to mention before we get into this quote, because again, if you had heard about that information, is this picking up where Endgame left off. One thing you got to remember is Endgame technically ended with Steve Rogers going back in the past, right? So that's one thing to kind of note. The other thing to note is the fact that there's certain elements, like the TVA and everything that happened, with at the end of Loki season 2, that is technically outside of the realm of time. So those things could still be, obviously, relevant to Doomsday, and we still be picking up where Endgame left off, because again, those things are outside of time. How that really works, it gets a little bit kind of hard and confusing to kind of grasp. But anyways, the point being, there's that element. There's also the fact that Doomsday, most likely, in terms of, we've seen this with Loki, we've seen this with all the other kind of MCU stuff since Endgame, with multiverse and time jumping stuff, Doomsday is probably going to be not just jumping across multiverses, but it's going to be jumping across time and things like that as well. So there's that element too. We could technically be picking up where Endgame left off, but then we're going to do some time jumping and, kind of bounce around to whatever, fill in the blanks through all the different stuff we've had so far, if that makes sense, right? We might be bouncing between the timeline of like, well, this, Ant-Man and the Quantum Realm, and then we're going to be over here in Loki season 1, and then Loki season 2, and then we're going to be back here in like Moon Knight. I think they forgot about Moon Knight. I'm really sad about that. But anyways, so that's how it's probably all going to work out. Now, what's this quote? I'll throw it up on screen. It's coming from Deadline. I'll put the source for that down in the description below if you want to read the whole thing. But the interesting thing is this, is that the Russo brothers are noting, specifically this was Joe Russo that was answering, I believe, in this segment, if I remember correctly. So the Russo brothers are basically saying that it's essentially critical, the parts that they're adding to Endgame. So it's not just like a fun re-release. It's apparently it's a re-release that has some really, what they're adding to Endgame is important for the context of Doomsday. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, you got to rewatch it. So hopefully they release a director's cut, DVD or Blu-ray, whatever. Throw it on the screen. So they said it's critically important to re-release the movie. And in fact, we'll be re-releasing the film with footage that is set in the Doomsday story that we have added to Avengers Endgame. Joe Russo told a packed crowd in St. Andrews. The veteran filmmaker was speaking via Zoom link after being held up in the States. Anyways, so again, the whole idea here is like they're adding stuff that is critical to the story of Doomsday. So you basically, like, if you really want to understand the full context of what's going on, you got to rewatch Endgame, which is a little strange, but I'm also kind of excited to see what that is going to entail. There's a little bit more of the quote, though. I'll throw this part on the screen. It says, "It's an opportunity to create a bridge from Endgame to Doomsday in a very unique way. And because the movie was so successful, we have an opportunity to re-release it. You don't always get the chance to re-release because it costs money. So the fact that we can enhance the story of Doomsday by bringing it, bridging it to Endgame, and these characters that we worked with for worked with 4 years, not FOUR, but FOR, that we loved so much, and continue their story, it's a really unique opportunity." And again, Endgame, says, later on in the article, grossed over basically $2.8 billion, roughly, at the end of everything. So it's pretty insane to say the very least. So all that to say, I guess you gotta rewatch whatever they're adding to Endgame. September 25th is when they're going to be releasing that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think they could be adding? I mean, are we going to actually get some kind of scenes like what was Doctor Doom doing behind the scenes during all of this? Is it that kind of thing, or what exactly does it entail? I mean, your guess is as good as mine, but it's fun to speculate, of course. And I want to keep you guys up to date. Again, if you want to see more kind of news-like videos like this one, let me know down in the comments below. We've done a lot of reactions and sort of kind of reviews and, theory videos, but, I like covering the news part as well. It's fun to kind of talk about this stuff. So if you guys like nerding out with me, let me know. Leave it a like, subscribe for more, and Doomsday's around the corner. Or Endgame first. The re-release of Endgame September 25th, and then Doomsday in December. So hopefully it's gonna be good. I trust it's gonna be good. The Russo brothers have not, in my opinion, yet failed or dropped the ball. They've done really good. So it's in good hands. We'll see how it goes. All right, thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next one.